Thank you very much for purchasing this digital assets for wills Notion digital template. This is for people who are writing their will in general and want to capture information regarding their digital assets as well in that will. So effectively answering the question, what will happen to my digital assets, my social media logins and what have you when I pass away? And this is increasingly a question that is being considered in the legal framework when you're preparing for your death through a will. So that's the purpose of this template. I've provided a full introduction and this video itself within the template, and you can access it by clicking this link here. I've provided a bit of background in terms of why I've created this template. In this section here, you can just drop down and read a bit more about the background to why I've created it. A bit of background into digital assets and digital legacy here. And if you want to modify the template, if you're comfortable with Notion, then these are the databases I've used to actually capture the digital assets themselves here. So step 1 is to input your personal details. Step 2, name your digital executor, who is the person you'd like to take care of your digital assets when you die. Step 3 is the main part of the template. This is where you actually list your digital assets, and you list them by accessing or clicking on this link, listing your digital assets. And this opens another window which you can create full page. And this window has a view on different databases that I've created, and it's categorized, and they're categorized by the type of digital assets. So I've categorized them by social media assets, email accounts, money and bank accounts, and other digital assets. So starting with social media assets, I've listed the most popular social media assets in this view. If they're not listed, if your particular social media asset that you use is not listed here, you can simply add it at the bottom. But for each of the social media assets, each of the email accounts, each of the money and bank accounts, and each of the other digital asset account, the way in which this template works is quite simply click on the checkbox here if you have that digital asset. If you do not have it, you do not need to check it. If you have that digital asset, then provide some information about that digital asset that you have. So that could be the web address or link to your particular profile, your username. Password isn't necessary, but just your username. Any email addresses associated with that digital asset, and then what you want to happen to that or with that digital asset when should you pass away. So do you want to close the account? Do you want to memorialize it in some way? And the various providers here of the digital asset have different policies and options around this in particular. But effectively the two options are to close or memorialize, or any other specific request that you might have for that asset. And if you do have specific requests, you can document them here in specify if other. Okay, so you do that for each of the assets, add any assets you don't have, and do it for each of these different categories. Once you've done that, you can go back to the home page using this button here. Just make full screen. So we've listed our digital assets. If you want to then review what you've done or go back to it at a later date because you've added a new social media account that doesn't exist at the moment, for example, you can click on this link here. Step 4, name your solicitor. Step 4.1, name your solicitor. Step 2, share instructions with your solicitor. I've provided instructions down here on how to do that. But fundamentally, once you install this template in Notion, you're able to take advantage of the Notion share functionality, which is top right hand corner. Click on share. This page is actually already published, but you'll have an option here when it's not published to publish it. And then you'll be able to copy the web link. So this will actually be the URL or address of the digital asset template that you have. Copy that and then send it to the solicitor or your other company that you're using to construct your will. Send the link to them, and they'll have access to what we're looking at right now, but filled out. Step 5, you can set a reminder to update your information. Clearly, we live in a very fluid digital world where new social media platforms are popping up. They're renaming themselves. They're disappearing. So you need to keep your digital asset inventory up to date as well. And you can do that by simply coming back into the template in Notion and updating it. But also you can take advantage of Notion notifications, which are a functionality included in all Notion installations. And you can say to Notion through this description here when you want a notification to happen. So if you want a notification to be sent to you in 6 months' time, reminding you to just, have a check of your digital asset template, make sure it's up to date, then you can do that here as well. And I've provided some information on how to do that up here. Clearly, when your digital asset list changes, you'll need to inform your solicitor as well, although they should still have a link that you've created and sent to them earlier. Integrations into your platform systems. So this is for solicitors and service providers only. Those organizations might want to wish to provide this digital asset template as a service to their clients. And the way in which they can do that is to use a embedded user form in their own platform or system, and then provide that to their clients. And their clients would log into their system, input the form, and then their express wishes would be captured and redirected back to the solicitor or service provider. And I can facilitate that workflow and that solution to solicitors and service providers. So if you're one of these, then please do let me know, and I can give you that embedded code and instructions on how to use that in your own systems. I just want to thank you again for purchasing this template. It really means a lot. I'd love to see more and more people use this template, whether individuals or service providers and solicitors. I'd be very, very keen to work with anyone on making this a better tool. And if you do have any comments, please contact me at Contact Product Effect, which is my company, at gmail.com. In the meantime, thanks again.